The restoration of the English monarchy in 1660 marked the beginning of a new era, not only for English society, but also for English culture. In drama, in music, in art. The century following the accession of King Charles II was a golden age for England. In poetry too, the confident English nation produced some of its finest ever men of verse. Three in particular defined the poetic spirit of their time: John Dryden, Alexander Pope, and Samuel Johnson. Their works were often inspired by the events of their day. More than at any time before, contemporary events provided the subject matter for great English verse. But their work also drew inspiration from the classical past, from the literary achievements of ancient Rome. Together, Dryden, Pope and Johnson remain the greatest poets of the English Augustan age.
This period is generally known as the Augustan age because poets of this period model themselves on the poets who wrote under the Emperor Augustus, poets such as Horace and Virgil, and they had a similar sense of being close to the centre of power. More generally, the notion of Augustanism is a useful framework for considering the ways in which these poets responded to the changing aspects of their modern world. This was a period of enormous financial, social and economic upheaval in England. You saw the beginning of the financial revolution, the beginning of speculative investment in the 1690s, an enormous explosion also in publishing, with all kinds of writers coming into the marketplace for the first time, including women writers. And Augustanism was a kind of lens within which these poets responded to these changes critically and with a sense of the ways in which the values of the past were being altered, but never, I think, entirely nostalgically or in a reactionary manner.
The elite of the time, especially the literary elite, were highly trained in classical literature and saturated with a sense of classical illusions, and so it was natural for them to express English aspirations in terms of an attempt to emulate the greatness of Rome under the first emperor, Augustus, itself a time of prosperity, rebuilding, and of a great literary revival.
If you were a cultural historian, you would look about what happened in the Restoration and into the 18th century as being a time when poetry could lay claim